Welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Sean.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm terrific.
Terrific?
Got a little bit of news today that was good.
Good.
So that was an exciting venture.
Uh-huh.
I've also, this is the question. Have you ever been told, have you ever had something that everybody else likes and you try it and you don't like it?
Yeah, a lot of things. Most everything.
But eventually you figure something out, as you get older, or you just become a bit more, you do actually pay attention to something, and then you realize you actually like that thing that you didn't like before.
Sometimes. Why? What's your thing that you like now that you didn't like before?
Because I've been playing on my PlayStation Classic. I have a gimmicked one, and I have a bunch of Japanese wrestling games on there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this series called Fire Pro Wrestling that a lot of really big wrestling nerds, a lot of the the ones that are Japanese wrestling's the best, and Kenny Omega, AEW, they love this series, and and the thing about this series is that it's a timing based grapple system. So it's not just when I'm playing a wrestling game like I normally am, and you have a button that you use to grapple, and when you grab the person and you do whatever moves or whatever. But then in this game it's timing based, so you have to press a certain combination when you walk into somebody and you initiate a grapple. Mm-hmm. And you have to do it at this right time. And I've never understood that until the other day. And I was just I just read this thing and it made sense. I started trying it and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm actually enjoying this now. This game, I for years, I couldn't understand, the fascination behind these Fire Pro games, and these Japanese wrestling games that have this system, and this timing based system of grappling, and it just I've always been very reticent, I feel like I've been denying myself a pleasure that is a lot simpler to obtain than I thought.
Let's see.
So that's something that kind of has dawned on me in the past couple of days.
Neat.
Did you have any experience like a band or
I don't know, not
movies or TV shows?
I don't know, not that I can think of off the top of my head. Because I'm sure there is something that everybody else liked that I was meh, and then I watched it and I was like, oh no, you know what? It's okay. But not anything that I can really think of. Usually if something that people really love that I just can't get into, I just never can get into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure there must be something, but nothing I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I just hate most things.
I know you're pretty much one and done.
Yeah.
That's okay though.
I'm just hate.
No, that's okay though. If you don't, you
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If you don't like something, you don't like something.
I know. I just thought that I do have to correct myself from the podcast last week.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do, and I'm going to pull the post up right now, because I was having a meltdown about Edie Falco in that
the
movie,
yeah.
And I was like, ew, it's disgusting. But Rob Brown has informed me that Vera Farmiga is actually Tony's mom in that movie. in that weird Sopranos prequel.
So who the hell does Edie Falco play?
Maybe nobody. Maybe she's not in it. I don't know. Maybe I was just mistaken because kind of does look like her.
I was certain.
Positive.
I knew Vera Farmiga. I did realize later after the fact that Vera Farmiga is in the movie, but I just assumed that there was Edie Falco.
So did I.
Interesting.
So Rob Brown has informed me that I was incorrect, and I'm actually very, very, very happy to know that I was wrong. So thank you, Rob. Thank God. Thank God. I mean, she still looks a lot, but at least it's not the same person.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So she's the actress in those scenes in the trailer?
Apparently, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That movie still looks dumb.
It looks dumb as shit, but I feel much better. I mean, there's still some weirdness going on, but I feel so much better that it's not Edie Falco.
Wow, I feel pretty dumb, actually.
So do I. I was like, but it looks just like her.
I was really sold on that.
I was too. And
But
I was like, what is happening?
And I also, too, I mean, Edie Falco's much older now.
Yeah, but they do that like weird down age. They did it to De Niro in that
The Irishman.
fucking long ass movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you're wrong. And that's just how it is.
A lot of times I'm wrong. I would say 99% of the time I am wrong, but I am delighted that I was wrong about this.
Yeah, I could see why.
Yeah, I was like, oh, thank God that's not nearly as fucking weird as I thought it was going to be.
I still kind of want to see it.
I don't know how I feel about it. Is it going to be on HBO? How's this going to work?
I don't know. I mean,
is it to theater?
It was a theatrical release because they wouldn't have like a million trailers for it. Granted, I understand the model's much different now because of COVID.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it also going to show up on HBO? We don't know.
Who knows? I don't know. I kind of feel like I would need to again watch The Sopranos.
Yeah. I wouldn't actually mind watching The Sopranos again.
I don't know. It's some of those shows. Some of those episodes are a tough watch.
Yeah, I know. That's the whole point.
I know. I
mean, we could watch an episode a night or something. We could do one of those rewatch things that people do. Usually old married couples. I mean, we qualify.
We are old
and married.
So we qualify. We check off those two boxes.
Look at that. We've checked off the boxes.
Right on. Okay. Well, thank you, Rob Brown. Mm-hmm. The mighty Rob Brown.
Yes, thank God. Thank you.
Who
made me feel so much better.
Rob Brown went to go see a lot of wrestling this past week.
Yeah, he did.
AEW was in his hometown.
Ew.
And we are going to see wrestling this Sunday. We're gonna go see WWE at the.
Is it Sunday or is it Monday?
Sunday.
Wow.
Day after SummerSlam.
For some reason, I thought SummerSlam was on a Sunday.
No, they're doing it on a Saturday this year.
Because usually all your pay-per-views are on Sundays.
Right. So, but this is kind of a conundrum too, because the SummerSlam is on a Saturday, NXT Takeover is on a Sunday, and we are going to see the show on Sunday.
But it's not NXT Takeover.
No. Takeover is in Florida, but we're going to see a house show.
We wouldn't be going to Florida.
No. But yeah, we're going to see a house show, which it's going to be fun. I haven't seen a live wrestling event. Well, actually, no, wait, I have. I was at WrestleMania. I was like, I haven't seen one.
Yeah, but I don't know if that necessarily counts. Well, no, there was a crowd at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, no, there's people there. I was there.
Maybe it did.
It was a very unique experience.
Man, I don't know what to expect.
What?
Just being around that many people again. Chuds.
I know. It's a weird dynamic these days with everything, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe we will get our seats because I am getting them through work. Maybe they're going to be somewhat sectioned off, please.
I have no idea. By the way, just FYI, so apparently Every Time I Die is going on tour.
I saw that. Yes, they're going to be here in Denver in next year.
Maybe we should go see them
with Under Oath.
They're going to be at the Ogden. Babe, you could go to the Ogden.
I see. I've never been to a lot of these venues that you've always talked about.
Well, my God, I spent so much time at the Ogden. I have seen many a show there.
Is that on Broadway?
Nope, it is on Colfax.
Colfax. Okay, right.
We've driven by it a couple times.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to make a chance to do that. What date is that?
It's like March.
Okay. Yeah, we actually have like stuff we're gonna do next year. We're gonna see Kyle Kinane.
We are.
And I think it's October or
November. One of the two.
I don't know.
I want to say it's like November.
And then
like beginning of November.
Okay, and then Patton Oswalt in January of next year.
Well, if we get these tickets, then we'll go to. I kind of want you to go see the Ogden. I haven't been. I can't even tell you the last time I went to the Ogden.
I kind of want to go.
I have spent a lot of time there because, I mean, when I was younger, that all the bands came through. And they would go to the Bluebird, or if they were slightly bigger, they would go to the Ogden.
Yeah, I'll have to do an ETID discography listen because they've had a lot of music that I don't think I'm as familiar with.
Are they just going to not wrestle? Or
what are you talking about?
Aren't they the wrestle guys?
Well, yeah, Andy Williams is the Blade or the Butcher.
Right.
But he isn't. He actually hasn't been on TV in a while. He's been. I think.
Is he injured?
I think he's injured, or he's just maybe more occupied with the music.
Fair.
You know, I don't really know what his deal like works. What works with him?
Oh,
in wrestling, but he is. But Andy Williams is the Butcher, who's the guitarist in Every Time I Die, and no, they will not be wrestling. They'll be performing music.
I know that, but I mean, like, he wasn't going to be on while he was going to,
Oh, no, he's probably going to be off on tour, and then he's going to, I mean, whenever he comes back, he comes back.
Right. That's what I meant. He wasn't going to wrestle. He was going to be, like, gone from AEW, and then once the tour's over, now he's back to AEW. That's
pretty nuts, too, considering that.
Is that what Jericho usually does?
Well, that's what Jericho does, but here's the thing. Jericho's like a singer. So, I mean, of course, if he gets like hit in the quote, if he gets hit in the throat a bunch, then he's in some.
Who's hitting Jericho in the throat?
I don't know. You could accidentally Rob Van Dam accidentally Triple H in the throat.
Yes, accidentally, yeah, but it's not like people are just going around like karate chopping Jericho in the throat because that's like a move.
That'd be a great like stipulation for a match is like throat match.
Oh no!
It's like.
Throat match.
The guy, the first person to lose their voice because they got punched in the throat. I don't know. That sounds really actually. That sounds weird.
It sounds awful.
Sounds awful.
Yeah.
But Andy though, he's a guitar player, so and like obviously with wrestling, you use your hands.
Sure.
Your hands are you have to do all sorts of things with your with your hands and your digits and stuff. And I remember reading like years ago, like a magazine about. In a magazine they're interviewing this band, God Forbid, and they were talking about how there's these two brothers in the band, and they get into arguments, and they're like sometimes we get into fist fights, but then we realize we're guitar players, so we just kind of like
kick each other,
or just or just not fight, because we can't, because I mean, if you break a finger or you break a thumb or
right.
Whatever,
maybe it's just that Simpsons episode where Bart and Lisa are like, "I'm gonna go like this."
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's
just them kicking at each other.
When guitar players fight, and it's just like, ow. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Checks out. Well, I guess that's good enough for us to, sometimes we don't really have anything to talk about because we haven't watched.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't watch anything.
Shit.
We didn't check out the What If. I know that came out. We haven't watched Loki yet.
I completely forgot that What If came out until I started seeing people talking about it.
Yeah, it just came out. And apparently it's great from what I've heard. People are really into it, but we haven't watched it yet.
I don't know. My comic book media.
Well, Shang-Chi's coming out soon too.
Yeah, the media obviously we saw Black Widow and what you call it, Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
so we've taken some of that stuff in.
Sure.
But I haven't really watched like Disney Plus and like watched. I mean, there's something about Loki.
I'm actually excited to see Loki, but for some reason, I just haven't sat down and watched it because it looks like it's weird as fuck. I'm here for weird as fuck, as we all know.
Yes.
I just think that after WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, I was kind of like,
It was a lot.
I'm going to put a pause on this. And then then you went out of town, and then when we had the whole house thing going on. And so we kind of just never got there.
Yeah, I understand. I am actually very intrigued to see how She-Hulk turns out.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because I got Tatiana Maslany, the girl from Perry Mason.
Yeah.
You know, in the Orphan Black or whatever. She plays She-Hulk, and I'm actually interested to see how they kind of pull that off, at least.
Are they going to do another season of Perry Mason?
I don't know, but I actually I'd be interested in.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good show.
But here's the thing: then the vid happened, and God only knows what's going on.
Yeah, coming in 2023, if we make it that long.
Right? We won't. We're all going to die.
All right, take a quick break, and we'll come back with our book for this week.
It's Citizen Kane Minute. Hosted by film fanatic Rob Kelly and a collection of special guests, Citizen Kane Minute will examine the greatest film of all time, 5 minutes at a time. Coming soon to the Fire and Water Podcast Network.
All right, we're back here at Worst Collection Ever with our book for this week. It is Marvel 2-in-1, number 30 from August 1977.
Woo!
So we are diving back into comics, and I figured what better way to do so than with one of our usual go-tos, that being good old Ben Grimm, old Blue Eyes, and his adventures with varied heroes in the Marvel Universe.
Yes.
And in this particular one, he is teaming, he's not teaming up, but it's Marvel 2-in-1 presents The Thing and Spider-Woman battle over London for the life of Alicia Masters. And here on the cover, we've got exactly what we're looking at, what it says.
Would you also say that that's accurate for what actually happens in this story?
Well, they do battle a little bit over London.
But do they battle over the life of Alicia Masters?
Well, because she gets captured.
Yeah, but I mean, not until close to the end.
I mean, it technically happens.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to them.
All right.
It happens a little bit.
I feel it's a bit of a stretch, but okay.
Well, because there's something because poor Alicia, you know.
Yeah, she's had a rough go.
Well, it gets rougher for her. We'll talk. It doesn't happen in this book, but we'll talk about it later. But we see Ben Grimm, you know, the Thing, and he's throwing a punch at Spider-Woman, and it looks like they're on top of, I guess you would say Big Ben, but maybe it's just some buildings or whatever. And the buildings, it's like they're fighting in midair, which is kind of weird. And also, it's something interesting to point out. This is Spider-Woman, but like it's early on, like in her existence. And this is the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, but this is even before she had like the hair coming out of the costume. So she's just got just the cowl on,
right?
You know, and she's got but it's the suit that, you know, people are familiar with.
Yes.
You know, the red and yellow suit. So at the bottom here it says, "But who will survive when Big Ben goes boom?" Kaboom. Battle Atop Big Ben is the title here. And we start off with Ben Grimm eating 2 sandwiches at once.
This is Sean's favorite thing.
It is my favorite thing where comic book characters eat. And you got Ben and Alicia, and they're sitting there eating sandwiches. They're eating sandwiches, and they're talking about something that happened in a previous issue with Deathlock. Apparently, Ben gets saddled with taking care of a lot of people. Like he had to deal with what's his face, Wondar or Aquarian, whatever you want to call him. You know, he's always it feels like he's always on the hook for other people, and he just kind of grouses about it, but it just keeps happening because he's a good guy. But he's talking about something that happened with Deathlock, and they're trying to help him, trying to reprogram him or trying to help him out.
Right.
I don't know.
While he's eating sandwiches.
Well, yeah, but Ben's.
The most important part is there are sandwiches.
There are sandwiches. They're in England.
Yes.
They're
in Piccadilly Circus, actually.
Piccadilly Circus. Have you been there?
I don't think I went to Piccadilly, but I did go to Westminster Abbey, and I saw Big Ben, which I believe is like right next to it. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong. And then I also went to the Tower of London. All
right.
Which was probably one of my favorite things that I saw when I was there.
Did they have is that where they have the ravens?
Yes.
Ooh, neat.
Yeah.
So Ben and Alicia are having a thing. Ben is dressed very nice.
Yeah, he's got like a nice shirt. He's got some nice slacks on.
He's got slacks. He's got shoes, but it just looks. He looks like he looks like Vince McMahon because he has like or not. I don't know if it's Vince McMahon, but it just looks very odd where he looks like
his pants look very big.
They look like his clothes look very big, which they have to be because he's the Thing,
right?
But he's got this tiny head on like this weird outfit.
Yeah,
and so. So they're like, hey, let's.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm gonna go back to the hotel to like freshen up before we go to dinner or something.
Well, they want to do sightseeing because they're like, hey, you know what? Let's just be a tourist. We're gonna let's go check things out. Poor Alicia can't see them, but she can, do whatever.
She can still experience.
She can still experience it. Yeah. So she's there and. Ben threatens the cabbie. He's like, you better fucking take care of this girl.
Yeah.
Or I'll kill you. And
so she drives off.
He drives off. He goes into a store to get some cigars. And the guy's like, oh.
Yes. So he's going to get some cigars. And then there's also like these dudes.
Right.
So they're like dressing up like cops.
Well, this is at Westminster Abbey.
At Westminster Abbey. Dress up like cops. And their plan, I guess, is to break into the Abbey and like steal a piece.
So basically these guys are trying to they're on like a treasure hunt.
Yes.
Some sort of treasure hunt, and they have to go to these different places to find pieces of a map that are hidden. And so apparently
that's too much fucking work, man.
It's a lot of
just too much work.
This better be a good payoff. I don't know what actually ends up happening.
This treasure better be good.
This better be like, like student loan debt forgiving good.
Yeah. Because they have to go to Westminster Abbey. I will admit, because I went into Westminster Abbey, it creeped me out.
Why?
So, I love cemeteries and tombs, etc. It's basically Westminster Abbey is a big old fucking tomb. A lot of kings are buried there, queens, whatever. But there are so many of them that you walk in there and you're like, oh, I'm looking at so-and-so's coffin, and you look down and you realize that you're standing on somebody else's, like basically their gravestone, because there's so many people in there. So you're like standing on the resting places of people, which I have always found, as goth as I am, I've always found that very disrespectful to like actually stand on a grave.
Stand on a grave, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just always like, oh, I'm so sorry, but you can't really stand anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're in an actual like cemetery, it's like you kind of have to like walk around, so you are stepping on graves.
Usually there's a path.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're trying to get to like a certain grave, you might have to walk past certain.
You might have to walk on somebody, and I usually apologize for that. Yeah. When walking through a cemetery and go, oh, I'm sorry. So that was one of the things. And one time I was like, oh, is that a bench? No, it wasn't a bench. It was a fucking coffin. Luckily I didn't sit on it. But so yeah, it's very pretty, but again,
creepy.
Lots of dead people.
Dead.
Which is fine. Not haunted. I don't think anyway.
But hey, that's that's what they had to do.
Yeah.
You're sitting, you're not. They don't mind.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they don't mind, but at the same time.
It's like, oh, please, you can sit on me. It's fine. I am dead.
Standing on a king. Don't mind me.
Standing on a king. The Jen Stanchard story. So these jabronis are like, okay, we're gonna find this treasure thing. So they blow a hole somewhere into wherever it is that they're blowing a hole in at Westminster Abbey, and then the cops show up.
Yeah.
And they start opening fire on these cops. And, and you're like, holy shit.
And they're like, oh, man, this is fucking serious. They're like shooting them. And then the Thing hears what's going on. So he like starts running over, but not before they like open the thing in the floor.
Yeah, they use a torch to open up this floor and they find this thing. And then Ben's running over. Ben... Now he's wearing like a jacket, like he's got a different outfit on. He's wearing like a janitor suit. He's like,
yeah, well, it is really important to coordinate your wardrobe with what you're doing. So when you're just hanging out, you look like Vince McMahon. When you're gonna go start fighting people, you just have you got to wear your utility suit. Apparently,
yeah. When you're out there, you got to be dressed for crime and for to clean up vomit in a supermarket.
I mean, he may want to get a job at a peep show place as a mop guy.
Ben, I can just imagine like that's an issue of this book that we haven't read yet, where it's just him mopping up
jizz,
him mopping up like superhero jizz for some reason, because it's like like it's where all the superheroes go to pound it.
Do you think they have to like go to a peep show place to pound it?
Well, I'm certain if they're doing Captain America, I don't know.
Captain America pounding it.
He's gonna pound it in out in this some place in Times Square.
I always felt like Steve Rogers would like feel embarrassed by pounding.
Well, he's gotta be pent up after being in ice all that time.
Yeah, I know, but he's still like a good little 19. I'm sure people masturbated back then. I know they did, but at the same time, was there more guilt than now? Are we less guilty about masturbation now?
That's true.
How is he feeling?
Stanley's glad. I'm glad Stanley's not alive for me to ask him that question.
Excuse me, Stan.
Excuse me, Stan. So when Steve got on the ice,
comment more than a question.
Theory. I'm trying to figure out, or just trying to figure out the scenario, the pounding it scenario.
When Steve Rogers jerks off. After being
just trying to figure out, we have to kind of put this in perspective. Like, did he become unfrozen? It was like, all right, time to defend America, or was it like, hang on, let me go rub one out?
I mean, you've been in ice for a long time. Probably doesn't take that long to rub one out.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you've been frozen for 80 years.
He literally
you just get in the shower.
Literally has blue balls.
Just get in the shower and rub one out.
Yeah. This show's so stupid.
This show is really dumb.
This is the dumbest show, I think.
Why do we do this show?
I don't know. Just because we think Ben Grimm's wearing a janitor's outfit, now all of a sudden
he's bopping cum, and now poor Steve Rogers.
Good Lord. Anyways, he shows up and he starts throwing these benches. These pews.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of pew throwing, which could also be coffins.
I never went to the pew area. I don't know if there's dead people under there. We were more in the dead people area.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming you can actually sit in it. Yeah. I don't know. We didn't go over there.
Yeah, he starts thrashing these guys, and then he's like, hey, you killed all them cops, and he's like, no, they're like, no, it's sleeping darts. We don't want to kill anybody.
That's right, because they're like, we don't want the death penalty. We're just trying to like do a puzzle, or
we're just trying to do Sudoku. Sudoku.
We're just really, what we're trying to do? We went into the future and we watched National Treasure and we say, hey, that's a really cool idea. Let's go do it in our country in the 70s.
Here, it's on this DVD. Ben Grimm's like, what's a DVD there?
Like, hold on to that. You'll be able to watch it in like 40 years. It'll be great.
Ben Grimm takes it to Reed Richards, and Reed Richards like puts it in like something, and all of a sudden like the world's being overrun by fucking aliens.
Well, I mean, that would have been a better way to go, don't you think?
What, by aliens?
Yeah, I mean, if we all died by alien, it would be much more exciting than like dying by climate catastrophe.
I know. I just want to see an alien.
No, they should really stay away from us.
I know. We've talked about this before.
Yes, we have.
Yes, yeah.
They really should stay away. But I'm thinking that at least that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That'd be fun.
It'd be fun getting hit by a beam of unknown origin.
I would just, oh man, you would just get zapped. Maybe it'd be like on Mars Attacks. Remember when they like zap people and they just like, pfft.
Yeah,
it'd be like that. Be cool.
No mess. Just a brief
just
pile of ashes.
Yeah, nice.
So this all of a sudden, what?
I'm just thinking. This goes to my thing the other day. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. I literally walked into Michael's the other day. Because, they're going to start selling Halloween stuff. And they had a couple Halloween things. And I was just standing there looking at all the Halloween like stuff to make a wreath, even though I already have one.
Yeah. I
didn't buy anything. But I'm looking at it and my thought was, man, I'm really going to miss Halloween when I die. Which I think may be the gothest thought I've ever had in my life.
You know, you never stop being goth, babe.
It wasn't like disappointed. It was just like, man, that's going to be sad. Like,
No, it will be sad. Unless maybe you can celebrate Halloween wherever it is we go. You know.
maybe I'll come back as a ghost
Ooh, that'd be neat.
on Halloween.
I want to be a ghost.
That'd be fun, right?
Yeah, I want to be a ghost. I just want to float.
Yeah, and I'll only show up on Halloween. Yeah, I don't need any of your other stupid holidays.
Fuck your holidays. Okay, so
Fuck you, the living.
so Spider-Woman, so Ben gets hit by a beam. Speaking of beams of unknown origin, Spider-Woman shows up and hits Ben with a beam, blows his clothes off.
Does she fly? Are they outside and she like flies in, or does she somehow fly into the Abbey?
I think she might fly into the Abbey or whatever. I mean, you know,
Maybe through the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, she shows up and he's like, "Oh, who are you, Spider Girl?" Yeah.
Or no, right away, and this is Ben says this like constantly. He's like, "You're webhead. You're Spider-Man's sister.
Yeah.
It's Spider-Man. Everybody, it's Spider-Man's sister."
It's like your dad trying to convince everybody that
That everybody's Hulk Hogan's brother.
Yes.
Spider-Man's
sister.
Hey, yeah, look, it's Spider-Man. Hey, that's Spider-Man's sister. Yeah, you know, he's got, you know, she grew up with them in Queens. I saw it.
But is this where we get her like little kind of origin story thing?
Yeah, we're getting there
Okay.
because like, you know, she fights. They have a fight, and Ben hits her with a pew, and
What else is she gonna do?
And she's like, oh, I'm here to destroy you, and Hydra something. You know, Hydra never fails, and this is bullshit. So I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah.
And yeah, so something to do with Hydra.
So the dudes in their plate get away.
Yeah.
Spider-Woman gets away.
And this is when we get the little origin.
And then
of
we
her.
get like an origin where she was just like hanging out at a pool or something.
Dude, hanging out at a pool?
Isn't she in a bathing suit?
No, she's just wearing like a.
That's a bathing suit.
What's a gift? I don't know. It's whatever it is. But
It is a bathing suit.
She's not at a pool.
Isn't she on a floaty? Okay.
She,
Just
no,
a little,
she's in like a lab, and like high evolutionaries like
here is a little
doing
behind
stuff
the
on her.
scenes of how we record this podcast. Sean is on one couch. I am on the other. Sean holds the comic. I can't see it. So
then here,
I'm
look
going
at it.
off my memory. Oh, see. Okay. This looks like she's on one of those floaty things
she's
on
at
a pool.
she's at
And that,
like a pool noodle.
yeah, no. You know what those inflatable things you sit
okay.
on and like lay on in a pool? And that is a bathing suit. And that's why I thought she was in a pool.
The high evolutionaries water park.
I thought she was in a pool and got hit by a beam.
Was she at Action Park?
Yeah, she's at Action Park.
My origin is I went to Action Park. I got bit by a spider, and I'm Spider-Woman.
I mean, let's be honest. That's a lot of people's super villain origin stories. I went to Action Park.
I went to Action Park, and now I has these powers.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I'm surprised there's not more people coming out of there with powers.
Just glowing New Jersey natives. I'm a superhero now.
I jumped into that super freezing cold pool or whatever it is. My heart stopped and now I can like manipulate ice. Like, I'm surprised that didn't happen.
Ice warriors. That's actually it's very plausible.
Like I'm saying.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, I was in an inner tube and I hit the wall so hard that I turned into jelly.
Yeah.
And now I'm a gelatinous man.
Well, it was you're on the inner tube.
All my bones break, but now I can transfer my skin.
So you're on the inner tube. For some reason, there's a bare electrical wire touching the wall. So when you hit it, it like supercharged your cells and like you became one with electricity.
Gotcha.
That's how that works.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I know.
So she flies off to her Hydra base or whatever, and I do. She shows up, and the whoever these Hydra dudes are, and one's just like, "Hey, go to your room."
Yeah.
He literally says, "Go to your room and
Right.
wait for us."
And then they're also talking about like the Supreme.
Right, because there's always like somebody higher in the Hydra
So I'm like,
deal.
is this American Horror Story Coven? Like, is that what's going on? Like, we have to crown the new Supreme out of
Sure.
all these like weird Hydra dudes?
Yeah, they're all
Stevie
gonna.
Nicks is not in this comic book, by the way.
Oh man, Stevie Nicks.
She is on American Horror Story Coven.
Man, Stevie Nicks and Hydra. There we go.
I could see it. If anybody's gonna have that much power, it's gonna be Stevie Nicks.
Fleetwood Mac was the Hydra sleeper cell. Starting that rumor.
Yeah, there you go.
So he literally, this one guy literally just goes, he says, yeah, go into your room, and he's pointing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go to your room, Spider-Woman. You come out when dinner's ready.
Poor Spider-Woman.
So and so they're doing some science stuff, and they're looking at some juice, and they're basically, like, hey, we experimented on her, and now we got her doing our bidding, and now we're gonna experiment on somebody else, and we need to like get that person to take our medicines or whatever, our experiments. And so this is where Ben, he's in Scotland Yard. Because is
this where he starts thinking about like, oh, if Alicia wants to get married, like, how's that going to go or whatever?
I think that's earlier where he's walking. Yeah, he's like, he says
he's having
to
think.
He's having to think, and he's thinking about, it's like, yeah, what if we have kids? And I'm like, it's like how?
How does that dick work?
Yeah, how does that dick work? I don't know if it just comes out like he's got all rock, but then it comes out as flesh.
Or is it like a stone dick? Is it a
pliable stone?
But that's what I mean. Is it like smooth, or is it like the rest of them where it just looks like a bunch of pebbles like stuck together?
We don't know. These are again.
Good
Stanley.
Excuse me, Stan. More of a question.
Stanley got out of this mortal coil
before we could get a hold of him.
Before we can ask this question.
Smart. But I do.
He does say real quick because Ben says something about, it's like, yeah, and then our kids are gonna look just like me, and I'm like,
well, because he's like, oh, she's gonna find out, and I'm like find out about me or something. And I'm like, all right, it's not like they don't touch. No, whether or not they sleep together is not a question, whatever. But if the thing feels like the side of a sandstone cliff, right? Where he's all like grainy and pebbly, she should be able to tell something's up.
Right.
Right? Like when she touches him, she should be like, this feels like a rock and not a human being. So she should already be aware that there's something going on with Ben, even though maybe she's never addressed it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I was thinking that myself too. I'm like, she has to know.
She has to know.
On.
If you're touching his hand, he puts his hand on your shoulder. That thing's got to weigh like 50 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So she's got to know. Anyway.
So the next part, so Ben's in Scotland Yard. And I think this is my favorite part of the book, where he's sitting there and the Scotland Yard guys are like, we heard you're kind of an asshole. So we decided to get Nick Fury to kind of like explain to you what the hell's going on because you fought Spider-Woman. And this is where like he's like, hey, Spider-Man's sister. And Nick Fury, like at least 3 times in this conversation is like, Ben, shut the fuck up. shut the fuck up.
He never does.
And he's like, yeah, but Spider-Man's sister. He's like, he's not Spider-Man's sister.
It's like, shut up. He calls him Patchy at one point, or
he's
Patch,
like,
or whatever.
He's like, fuck your Patch. And he's like, fuck you, Ben. Well, that's the thing, is then Ben's like, you're gonna give me some cigars after, because I got, because he tells him to like go and engage with her or something, to figure out, because basically it's something where he realizes that Ben, or that Spider-Woman is under the control of Hydra, and they need to figure out what the hell's going on. And
I feel like Nick Fury is one of the characters in the Marvel Universe who has the I'm too old for this shit job.
Oh, 100%.
Because every single time he leaves, he walks off panel, he's just like, too old for this fucking shit.
It's like God damn that fucking rock piece of shit.
Dealing with this motherfucker again. He never shuts up. Doesn't listen to what I'm telling him.
He just keeps saying it's Spider-Man's sister. I was like, I don't fucking care if it's Shakespeare's sister.
The band?
The band.
Oh shit! I'd care if it was Shakespeare's sister. That'd be exciting.
Oh man, Ben Grimm v Shakespeare's sister. I don't know why.
No, I don't want V. I just kind of want Shakespeare's sister to like perform.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, and I can just like enjoy that.
They only got to do that one song. I don't know if there are any other songs that are any good.
I had that album, but I think that was really the only song I listened to.
This is where you get Shakespeare's sister talk, guys. I think we're the only podcast really doing that right now.
Is anybody referencing Shakespeare's sister?
I don't know.
Does anybody know the song "Stay" by Shakespeare's sister?
Probably a lot of people do.
Well, yeah, I'm sure if they heard it, but like, do you know like
Do you know it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always kind of. I wish we could like do. You could do a search in like the actual content of podcasts to find out if people are actually what people are actually saying in these show ones. Like, I mean, that's the ticket right there.
Oh shit! Invent that, babe.
Oh, I don't know about that.
If you invent that, neither one of us will ever have to work again.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
Yeah, we can just be an asshole with a boat or something. I don't know what.
This boat podcasting. My podcast knowledge gave me this boat. I want a boat.
I can just imagine if you and I actually had a boat, we'd be like, okay, so now what do we do?
I don't know. I'd probably be seasick a lot.
That's what I mean. I feel like we'd get on it. We'd be like, all right, so now what do we do with it?
Like, is there TV on this boat?
Well, I'm assuming there would be a TV, but I feel like then we would just sell it.
Well, that's the one people always say about boats is like the best thing about getting a boat. The best thing about getting a boat is the day you sell it.
Isn't it like the best 2 days of owning a boat is the day you buy it and the day you sell it?
There you go. Yeah,
there it is.
The day you buy it and the day you sell it, because pretty much.
Apparently, it's a pain in the ass to have.
Oh yeah. Don't buy a boat.
Apparently not.
Anyways, so yeah, we dealing with. We see what's going on with these hoo-ha dudes.
Yeah.
The robbers or whatever, and they're like, "Oh man, we're about to find the treasure."
They put it in water or something. And
there's
I don't know. They put it in a solution, and it like fits on the thing, and they're like, "Oh man, it's another piece of the map. Look, we're gonna get the treasure or whatever."
Oh man, I can't wait to finish this junior jumble puzzle.
Yeah, and this is the highlights, like which one is Goofus and Gallant, which one is different or whatever, and like then. Is this where Ben and Spider-Woman show up?
Well, this is where Ben and Alicia are walking through Scotland Yard.
Oh, that's right.
And then they're headed.
Oh no!
They were in Scotland Yard. They go to the Tower of London.
Yes, which is great.
Okay. Yes.
I don't know if I would have liked as much. So we did like the audio tour when we went. I don't even remember if it didn't cost a lot, and I usually don't do those things, but it was pretty fucking great because like you go and they're like, hey, look at this like boat thing, like where the boat pulls up. I don't even know if there's water there anymore, but like it used to be like the boat could pull up and like drop people off, and it's like, this is where they brought like Queen Elizabeth when she was imprisoned. Imagine her sitting here crying. And you're like, okay. And then like you go up the spiral staircase like up to this like room, the stone room that like looks out into the courtyard. And there's like etchings, like people have actually like carved stuff into the stone. Prisoners, because that's where they used to hold like basically all of Henry VIII's wives before they were beheaded, and like all sorts of people who were going to die. And they're like, sit here, look out the window. Imagine watching the gallows being built. Those are the gallows you're going to walk to and die.
Who's gonna die?
Like whoever was it, that's the prisoner room. Like that's for like high royalty that was gonna be executed.
Oh,
or,
no,
like,
I get that, but I mean the way they make it sound is like
but that's the thing. It's like imagine this, that you were a prisoner in this room. You could look out to this courtyard and see the gallows they built to murder you on, and it's like, and now turn and walk to your doom, and then there's drums like do do do, like as you walk down the stairs. God. Very dark. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
I can imagine. So okay, yeah, so Ben and Alicia are walking, and they're like, and then, I guess they're gonna let Alicia feel the crown jewels.
I saw those too.
Did you feel them?
No, you cannot touch them.
Oh.
You can look at them though.
Well, they'll let her touch them because she can't see them.
Yeah, well, they're very sparkly.
Yeah. But they're like, you know what? You could touch them.
You literally just walk by them and they're like 10 feet away, and you're like, okay.
Hey, there that is.
Yep.
It's like the Grand Canyon. You're like, eh.
Yep, pretty much.
Literally, when we saw the Grand Canyon, it was like that scene in Vacation, when National Lampoon's Vacation, where they're just like, it's like, Dad, look at the Grand Canyon. He's like, okay, let's go.
That's exactly what we did. These things are wasted on us.
Yeah.
Because we went and we were like, wow, this is great. And we like stop at like the first part, like where they have like the gift shop. We took a picture of us standing by the Grand Canyon. And we're like, oh man.
I have that photo. It's
yeah. And then we like drove to the next outlook point. We got out and we're like, and then we got in and we drove to the next outlook point. And I think by the third time we were like, I think we're done here. We just kept driving. We just like drove away.
If the Grand Canyon was filled with loose action figures, I would be very interested in it.
Oh, I'm sure. If there was like a stand somewhere,
If there was a box of loose action figures
somewhere in the Grand Canyon.
somewhere near the Grand Canyon, they're like, "Hey, Sean, you want to look at these?" I'm like, "Yeah." Also, there's a Grand Canyon. She's like, "Oh, this is bad. Grand Canyon's the best."
I found geysers.
I found geysers. So as they're walking, Spider-Woman shows up. He does call Spider-Woman a few times in this book Spider Broad.
Spider Broad.
Spider Broad.
Uh-huh.
He does refer to her as the Spider Broad. But so
It's better than Spider-Man's sister, I guess.
yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a logical, jump
Yeah,
to think that Spider-Man and Spider-Woman are somehow connected.
Sure, yeah.
But it just happens that they're not, which is strange. But nonetheless, so he gets Spider-Woman swoops in and Ben pushes Alicia away so he can fight her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh no, I came here for Alicia." Yoink.
Yeah.
And she flies away with Alicia, and
Yoink.
Ben's like, "Ah!"
Yes.
Ah!
So then he's got to like fight Spider-Woman.
Well, he chases after her, so he's running up like the spy, I guess assuming the Tower of London.
Yeah, I assume that's where they go first, because then they end up on like.
Well, he's about to run up whatever stairs here.
So he runs up the stairs, and then there's like a bunch of like him and her chasing each other type of thing.
No. This is where the guys, those robbers, come back.
Oh,
The robbers come back and they shoot Ben in the neck with like the sleeping dart, and he goes out. And then those guys, we for some reason we spend a bunch of time with them stealing the jewels or stealing a plate or stealing something to get to the bigger treasure, because there's like, "Hey, there's the jewels," and the guy's like, "Fuck those jewels.
Yeah.
We need to get our plate. We need to get our commemorative plate."
Yeah, I cannot tell you how little it matters what these
And I'm
fucks are doing.
Ben, you just shot Ben Grimm in the throat.
Yeah, they did.
Fuck, man. I don't know Ben's okay.
No, he's fine. He's making a rock.
But Ben does show back up. He crushes their guns, and then because he thinks that those two,
They're like in cahoots.
They're cahoots.
Yeah.
And they're not, because they're like, "Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
this
we're
is a
not."
totally separate thing that's happening. Like the Spider-Woman thing is totally separate from this robbery.
It just happens that they just seem to be in the same place
At the same
wherever
time.
all three of these people are in the same place at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's maddening. And
They're just like, we really need more action in this book.
Yeah.
'Cause Spider-Woman, not really in it that much.
no, so Ben Grimm tears his clothes off,
As one does.
as one does when your girlfriend gets yoinked by a spider broad.
I mean, you got to rend your garments somehow.
Yeah, that's true. So he, thankfully he's wearing his action briefs underneath. So
Good.
he's in good shape there.
Yep, good. He's not going commando.
No.
No.
So he chases after her, and for some reason he decides that in order to chase after her, he needs to jump on a boat. And
Yeah, that's right. Because he's by, I'm assuming, London Bridge.
yeah.
So she's flying along. He's by London Bridge. He sees, because she can like glide or whatever. So he sees this boat coming. It's on the Thames, and he like jumps into it.
Yeah. He jumps into it like he thinks Ben, of course, like he's a big rock dude.
He should have sunk this.
He should have sunk this for one, and either that or he should have. There's a very high possibility that he could have smashed somebody.
Yeah.
As jumping in, but thankfully he didn't.
Yeah.
And he tells he falls in, and somebody like some tourists are like, "Hey, is that the Hulk?" There's like, "No, that's the Beast." He's like,
Or the thing.
Ben's like, I ain't either of those. I's Ben's Grimms. My rock hide.
So then
And
like
my smooth penis.
and then he finally gets out of this boat.
Yeah. Well, Ben Grimm's threatening a lot of people in this book. He threatens a cabbie.
He does a lot.
He threatens like the boat guy, the captain of the boat.
Boat
Hey, boat guy. The boat captain. He's like, "Hey, chase after her." And he's like, and then this guy's kind of like, "Hey, what the fuck, man? I don't want to chase her." He's like, "No, I'm gonna shove my rock finger up your fucking ass."
Yeah, okay.
So he manages to. I don't know what he's doing, but he finds her and she doesn't have Alicia with her.
Yeah.
And now somehow they're on top of Big Ben.
That's what I mean. He jumps off the boat following Spider-Woman. Then they like run up Big Ben and then they both fall back in the river.
Yeah, he climbs up Big Ben and Spider-Woman shoots at him or something. Like there's an explosion or something that neither of them caused.
Was it like the robber dudes caused it?
Something like I think it feels like that because she's shooting him with her beams and like he's like, yeah, I have a rock hide. And he's like, yeah, but my beams are poisonous. So,
but again,
regardless, but she's like, yeah, even regardless of your rock hide, you're still feeling the effects of my beams. So he starts weakening, and then there's an explosion, and he prevents her from getting into it or something like that. And this is where they fall off the boat.
Yeah, and then they fall into the river.
They fall into the river, and then the robbers, because I'm assuming it's the robbers that did something with this. The robbers are like, haha, we got rid of them. Now let's go get our commemorative plates or whatever it is that they're fucking chasing after.
Yeah.
And that's how that ends. And the next issue, My Sweetheart, My Killer. Do you want to read? Would you be interested in reading the next issue of this? Because I know what happens. I'm going to tell you.
Is it with Spider-Woman?
She's there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we had it, sure.
Well, what happens is the stuff that the Hydra guys have, like their serum, whatever
they're doing,
they use that on Alicia. She gets turned into
a rock monster,
a spider monster. So she's like a lady, but then she also has like hairy spider arms coming out of her.
Okay.
And she's like fighting.
Does she have the ability to like web?
Yes.
Neat. And
she's fighting, and she starts fighting Ben and Spider-Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually there's, Invisible Woman shows up, and Alicia gets better.
Right.
But that still had to sucked, to be
better.
That's basically it. It's like, she's like, I was a Spider-Woman, but I got better.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's basically what happens in the next couple issues. It's like Ben hangs out in London, eats a bunch of sandwiches, and his girlfriend gets turned into a Spider-Woman. Like a literal Spider-Woman. Not like a cool Spider-Woman, but like an actual spider monster woman.
Yeah. Terrifying.
So, Where Spider. So, yeah, that's it. Wow. I love Marvel 2-in-1, so I will always find ways to check those out. But that's it for this week's show. Thank you for listening. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Angry Hero Sean.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the show on Facebook, Worst Collection Ever, and email the show, worstcollectionever@gmail.com.
And rate, review the podcast on Spotify. Actually, you can't rate on Spotify, but do follow us on Spotify. Also, if you're on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review there. And I'm going to try to do this because I actually went ahead and found a bunch of places to submit our podcast. And we are now on Podknife.
Sweet. Find us there.
Find us on, if you listen on Podknife, you can listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
So Podknife. And also check me out on YouTube, Angry Hero 79. I did another video. I got a few new videos up there within the past week or so. So you can check those out. I opened up a Bret Hart figure where he has a bow, like an action bow, and he fights monsters.
Okay.
But it's Bret Hart, so he's like politely Canadian about it.
Oh, that's very nice of him.
He's like, hey, would you like to have some?
Excuse me, may I shoot you with my bow?
Some Molsons first. And maybe some Mr. Sub, Labatt's, Molsons, they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
Mr. Sub. I think with 2 B's.
You want some ketchup chips?
They love those ketchup chips up there.
Yeah.
Man, I like Canada.
Yeah, Canada's neat.
Canada's hip. If you have Canadian listeners, if you're listening, let us know. I want to know if you're listening in Canada.
Can we come live with you?
I'll bring ketchup chips.
I mean, I'll bring ketchup.
We can live,
put them on chips. They don't sell ketchup chips down here.
It's like, hey, let's take a bag. Let's put some chips in the bag.
Just shake it.
Put some ketchup in there. Shake it.
Put some Lay's, right? You get some plain Lay's.
Yeah.
You get a bottle of ketchup and you shake it up.
Shake it the fuck up.
And I bet it's disgusting.
Oh, those are the worst ketchup chips you ever had. Don't even lie. You can't even. That's a messy situation right there.
Well, we do like a Colorado version of poutine down here.
Do you?
Kind of. Some restaurants you can get it, but it's like poutine, but instead of like the gravy stuff they put on it, they put that green chili sauce the Colorado does.
Oh, yeah.
The Colorado green chili.
I do love that green chili sauce.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Shout out to that.
So they put that on top of it.
No, see, now I'm hungry. Anyways, well, we'll end this so I can go maybe get a snack. Thanks for listening, folks, and we'll talk to you again next time.
Bye.